Hey everyone, welcome back to Damn Tasty Vegan. It's your friend Marie Rose. I have been using a menstrual cup since 2005 and I have a lot of information to share. I'm not going to waste your time because I'm sure you've watched hundreds of these videos and you kind of are just ready to get to the point. Alright, so how do you insert a menstrual cup? So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're completely relaxed. It's really easy to tense up your vaginal muscles and it's going to make the process really painful if you do that. A good thing to do is to try it out in the shower with the water running, so the water gets your cup lubricated, it gets everything lubricated, and you squat down and make sure that you're completely relaxing your vaginal muscles. If your vaginal muscles tighten up, it's going to make it really hard to insert the menstrual cup and it's going to make it really painful. We don't want that. And you have to constantly remind yourself to relax because it's really easy to tense up and to not even know you're doing it, so keep telling yourself to relax. The second thing you want to do is to fold your menstrual cup. My favorite is to do the punch down fold. If you haven't seen it looks like this. You take one end, do it like that. I like this fold because it's the easiest to get it to open and it creates the most narrow space for it to be inserted. So you're either sitting on the toilet or you're squatting in the shower. Got the menstrual cup rolled up, ready to go. A little burrito. You want to insert your menstrual cup back towards your tailbone. Your vagina goes back and it doesn't go straight up. So here's the vaginal opening. You want to put it in here and it goes back. All right, so you want to push your menstrual cup up until it gets past your pubic bone. Now, how do you know it's past your pubic bone? Well, once it passes the pubic bone, your vaginal canal opens up into a little bit more space. So you want to push it up until it gets past the pubic bone. There's going to be a little bit more space in there. All right, we're good to go. Now next, we're going to want to make sure that we get the menstrual cup to fully open. We do that by pinching at the base of the cup, twisting as you push up, and then twisting as you pull it down. Don't pull it down a lot. It's a really subtle move. You may have to do this 5 to 10 times before it completely opens. So you pinch, twist it as you push up, twist it as you pull down. It looks like this a lot of the times. You're going to do that a few times. It's really subtle, small movement, and eventually it's going to open up. Now, something to be aware of is that your cervix is at its lowest point on the first day of your period. So you're going to have a little less room in the vaginal canal for the cup to open. So especially if you have a softer cup, you're going to have to wiggle the cup around a little bit to get it to open. Now, you can't be afraid to really get up in there and to move things around. The beauty of the menstrual cup is it really lets you get to know your body. So don't be afraid of it. Get up in there and get the cup to open. We're not messing around. Now, once you feel it start to open up, and you know it's kind of opened up because the side won't feel like it's indented in, now we have to make sure it's in the right place. The best way that I found for it to not leak is to make sure that you're not wearing the cup too high. If the cup is too high, it may pass behind the cervix opening, and your cervix might not even be over the cup, and so you might bleed right out of the cup. We want to make sure that the lip of the cup is resting just right above the pubic bone. As you can see in this photo right here, there's a hollow little area where your vagina opens up into a little more space. That is right above your pubic bone, and it creates this perfect little notch for the lip of the cup to sit. So you know that the lip of the cup has caught on the pubic bone if you squeeze it, twist it, pull it up, and then you pull it down by the stem. You don't want to squeeze it. You pull it down by the stem until it catches on something. Once it catches on something, that's the pubic bone shelf. All right, you with me? Cool. We've inserted the cup. We've got it to open. That's not it, my friend. There's one more step. You need to make sure that you create a suction seal. There's 2 ways that I found of doing this. Number 1, you can do 10 Kegels. So that's when you squeeze your vaginal muscles. You can do 10 of them. My yoga teacher explained it this way. Your Kegel muscles are the muscles that you use when you're out peeing in the woods and something scares you and you hear a sound and you stop peeing. Those are your Kegel muscles. So you want to do 10 Kegels, or the thing that I have found that has finally helped me create an amazing seal where I never leak unless it's overflown is I take my thumb and my index finger. I place my thumb at the base of the cup like this. I'll insert my finger up and I will push like that. See, it creates a little indent. I'll push the air out like that. And just to be honest with you, it creates like a fart noise kind of. It sounds like a queef. So a queef is just when your vagina expels a little bit of air. Sometimes vaginas get air trapped in them and it makes this little kind of noise. Okay, we're getting really personal right now. And you know what? Screw it. Vaginas are incredible. There's nothing wrong with talking about the noises they make. Expelling the air from the menstrual cup helps it to create a suction seal. Once you create that suction seal, it's virtually impossible for the blood to leak outside of the cup. So we're gonna review everything that I just taught you. So number one, completely relax your vaginal muscles. Number two, do it in the shower, squatting down so you're lubricated, so the menstrual cup is lubricated. Number three, choose your favorite fold. Mine is the punch down fold. Number four, insert the menstrual cup back towards your tailbone while completely relaxing your vaginal muscles. All right, we push it up, 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 up until it gets to that point where it passes the pubic bone and the vagina opens up into a little more space. Once it's there, we need to make sure that there's no folds in the menstrual cup and that the cup opens completely. So we do that by pinching at the base, twisting as we push up just slightly, and twisting as we pull down. You may have to do this 10-15 times, especially if you have a soft cup. Also, while you're doing this, make sure that your vaginal muscles are relaxed. Pinch, push up, twist, pull down, pinch, twist, pull down. Now, if you find that you've been doing this about 20 times and it's still not opening, which has happened to me sometimes, especially on the first day of my period when my cervix is low, you may just have to start all over. So take it out, but don't do that until you've done it about 20 times, okay? Because it takes a little bit of time for cups to open sometimes, especially if they're on the softer side. So let's just pretend that we got the cup to finally open. We know it's open because when we touch around the base of it, we don't feel any indents in the sides. Now we need to make sure that it's placed low enough so that the cervix sits above the cup and it doesn't leak outside of the cup. So we want to squeeze it one more time, twist it as we pull up, and then we want to grab the stem and just lightly tug it down until it catches on something. That something that it catches on is the pubic bone shelf. That's the perfect positioning to put your menstrual cup because it's not so high that the cup passes the cervix and the cervix bleeds completely outside of the cup, and it's not too low that it's coming out of your vagina. Now, if you find that you're in that position and part of the cup is still sticking outside of you, it means you either need to trim the stem or find a shorter cup. Now we've got the placement, we need to make sure that we get the suction seal because there's still one more step. A lot of people don't talk about this step. This is how you ensure that you won't leak. It needs to have a suction. Once it's placed right above the pubic bone shelf, then you need to make sure you expel the air from it either by doing 10 Kegels, squeezing your vaginal muscles, or my favorite way, putting my thumb at the base, inserting my forefinger up, 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 higher. So this is a little bit lower, this is a little bit higher. Pushing on it so that it indents in and until you hear that lovely queef sound. Sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. Depends on if there's air in there or not. You want to do that. Once you do that, do one more little tug, make sure it's opened, and you should be good to go. All right? So a few tips that I have for you, that some things that people kind of don't understand with menstrual cups in the very beginning. It's common for there to be slight spotting with the menstrual cup because sometimes especially after you empty your cup and you reinsert it and you're on one of your heavy days, a lot of times there's blood that is on the vaginal walls that's below the menstrual cup, or sometimes there's blood that gets on the outside of the menstrual cup. So a lot of people think that that means that your cup's leaking. Nope, it just means that there's a little bit of blood residue on the walls of your vagina. So a good thing to do is on the heavy days of your period is to always wear menstrual underwear. There's some really pretty menstrual underwear brands out there. I will link my favorite below. Number two is, I don't know where these menstrual cup companies get off saying like you can go all day without changing it. I don't know, that's just not the case for me. I have a really heavy flow. I can do that maybe on like the last day of my period, maybe the last 2 days of my period, but for the most part, make sure that you change it maybe every 4 or 5 hours. Try it out there. On my heavy days, I need to change it every like 1 to 2 hours because I have a very heavy flow. On my lighter days, I can go all day with it in. So play around with different emptying times. If you find that it's leaking after 4 or 5 hours, then just change it a little bit sooner than that. One other thing that I hear people say is that their cup is leaking when it's not full. So So one thing to know is that the menstrual cup doesn't fill up all the way before it starts to leak. Sometimes your cervix will get inside of the menstrual cup and it will take up the capacity that the menstrual cup is supposed to hold. So sometimes it may start leaking and you empty it and maybe it's only filled halfway with blood. A couple things to keep in mind is that when you're emptying your menstrual cup, a lot of the blood will spill out. So then by the time you look at it, it may look like it was only half full, or it may mean that your cervix is a little bit lower and it was sitting inside the cup and taking up the capacity of the cup. So that's just something to keep in mind when you take your cup out and maybe it's halfway full and you're like, why is it leaking? It's only halfway full. It's because you probably spilled a lot of it taking it out, or maybe your cervix was sitting inside of it and taking up the capacity. I have a playlist available of all my menstrual cup videos. I love menstrual cups. Took me a while to finally learn how to use them right. Once I did, it's been so liberating, and I want to share that knowledge with all of the people who have periods. So make sure you check out that playlist. Leave me any questions you have below, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye!